motivation for Courage is to build something so strong that we are pumping out really good martial artists, and we're helping people do exactly what I did, where I kind of turned my life at a right angle and things just started getting better and better and better and better. And I want to share that with everybody else. During my service, I was lucky enough that we did some tough things, but we weren't too greatly affected. But some of the guys that have been to war zones, I mean, Iraq and Afghanistan now has been a really long kind of engagement. Some of those guys are coming back and not coping too well. I think one of the reasons they don't cope too well is that they lose a little bit of that warrior ethos. And I think martial arts is something that they could do to help them retain part of their identity. Maybe 12 months before I got out of the military, I started training. I fell in love with it really quickly, and it became a little bit of an addiction to me. And one of the reasons I enjoyed it so much was it had such a good positive effect on my life for so many different reasons. It made family life better. It made me a calmer person. So I really started to see the benefits early on. Being self-sufficient is important to me. So when we were looking at doing things to help my mates, they didn't have programs in Townsville. There was something missing, and I jumped online and I started looking at more and more places, and I knew that we could create something that when you stepped through the door, it had a little bit of more life. There was a stage there where I think I was looking at about 5 or 6 buildings a day. I think I was probably a nuisance to a fair few real estate agents. And then we found this place, and it was bare. It was all concrete. The walls were bland concrete, and it was kind of like a little bit depressing to look at. And in my mind's eye, I had this place that you would step into every morning, and you would just be lifted by the appearance and the feeling of the building. The whole time I've been training, I've had kids, family and work, and had to make money and make do as best we could. And I think that really helped me make the right sacrifices in the right places to be successful. We all have something worth fighting for, and I think it's one of those things that really challenges you as an individual. And those challenges really do bring out the best in your character.
Officially, I suffer from chronic PTSD, and I find martial arts has got me back on my feet and given me a sense of direction. One thing that always keeps me on the path and stable is getting on the mat and forgetting about everything for a couple of hours.
It's great. It helps me with a lot of issues that I've had over the years with anger and anxiety.
It's a very calming influence on your life. So it's been proven, there's American studies of how much jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts does for PTSD. I highly recommend for veterans to get involved, and also they're getting back involved with people who have a warrior ethos and like to be challenged and like to challenge themselves. So it just gets you feeling worthwhile again.
I started traveling and competing, and that's where I'd learn the most. I would learn things in the back watching other guys warm up. They would be doing something in the corner and I'd be watching them taking mental notes going, oh, look at that escape. I'm going to go back and I'm going to train that for weeks. And I would go back and I would train that with one of my training partners. It kind of grew from there, and I realized that I really needed to start building up people around me to be good training partners, because everyone you competed against had a coach that was a black belt or a Thai boxing coach who was a multiple time champion. So what we had to do was work harder, go away, learn as much as we can, and put in extra work to everyone else. So I still have relationships with students that have moved away and trained at other places. I think it's something that Courage does different to everyone else. We build relationships with people. It's not just about come in and help you lose 5 kilos. We're really good at helping build meaningful relationships to support people in becoming a better version of themselves.
I met Ian at the School of Infantry, and he was my first instructor in the Army. You know, he motivated me and kept me on track for the next 2 years into my MMA journey. What he's trying to do and how he's trying to help people is, you know, there needs to be more people out there doing it. The only way to get away from what you're doing is to do something that makes you forget about it. And so for me, martial arts, regardless of whether it's 1 hour or 10 hours a week, is however many hours I do on the mat is however many hours I'm away from whatever's troubling me in life. It's important to remember where you came from. It's important always to go back to it, and it's even more important never to forget it.
Courage Training Centre, we really do have an excellent kids program. We have a kids Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program and a kids mixed martial arts program. We have juniors and seniors. Both those programs are kind of something that are really close to myself and all the fighters' hearts that help out in those programs, because they're really not only the futures of mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but they're the future leaders in the community. We're really trying to empower those kids early on to believe that they can be more, they can be better, they can be something great. And I think that's a special thing to do for kids, is to be a role model and be able to encourage children to think that they can do great things. And that's something that we've really enjoyed, and our kids program just keeps going from strength to strength.
School is quite staunch in telling children not to wrestle or fight, unlike in the 80s where you used to, you know, roll around and do a lot of play. Martial arts allows the individuals to go through that process, especially children, to go through a safe play fighting process of wrestling and engaging. And I think for adults it allows them to face some fears of dealing with confrontation.
It teaches them boundaries. It also teaches them resilience, you know, to never give up. There's all these wonderful character building things that happen inside a martial arts class and martial arts competition that really does make good, strong individuals with a good sense of self and a good sense of honour.
People can actually see a change in me for the better, that I'm more healthier, I'm more happy, I'm more positive.
I've developed a lot of great friends here.
Trying to think under pressure is one of the big things.
You're given the tools to learn how to be a leader and teach other people as well.
I used to be very stressed at work, and if I came straight from work to training, I felt better straight away.
It excites me, you know, every time I get on the mat, there's something new to learn.
It doesn't matter when you start martial arts and the reason that you start, that will change over time. You'll find a path and solutions to problems that, you know, are quite clear in martial arts, that may not be so clear in your life, that you can then apply to your life.
Whatever you're going through, if you can pull back and start working on yourself, that's when you're going to be able to turn those struggles into strength. Instead of focusing on the problem, being able to focus in on yourself and make yourself stronger to deal with those problems, that's invaluable. And I think, you know what, every morning, regardless of how tired I am, I'm pumped to be here. I'm excited to be here all the time. I really wouldn't rather be doing anything else.